We've moved into this building, and he's just going to give us a little bit of a building update over the next 3 weeks as well. We're going to be talking a little bit about this journey.
Morning, everyone. So, as Chris said, my name's John Paul. I sit on the SLT, and I oversee the kids ministry with Harold, who I'm sure most of you know. So, it's been a year, and it's when I look around. When I came in today, I thought, wow, it's we've come so far, and this the building is pretty amazing, and we, this has been one of the sort of the longest running projects, I think, of our church, and continues to be, because I don't think we'll ever finish, sort of building God's house, so to speak. And so I think, as we've been here for a year, we wanted to, take a bit of a stock take, and I think, overall, it's been amazing, right? And so phase 2 of our building, if we go back sort of a year, 2 years, we were talking a lot about phase 2. And what was the main focus? The focus was moving in. We just wanted to get in here. We wanted to stop paying rent. We wanted to stop, all the unnecessary activity that we had by moving, locations all the time. And so phase 2 is moving in. I think, as we stand back here, we say it's been a massive success. And whilst the building is not, the body, like it's not church. We're the church, right? And as we've talked about this morning, each household of faith, as we bind together, that's a church. We've got to recognize, though, that this facility helps us do amazing things for the kingdom of God. And so I just want to share with you just a few observations, a few sort of statistics, if you will, about, how we've sort of gone since we've moved in. So in the last 12 months, we have grown about 20% in terms of weekly attendance. And so it's pretty packed, and I'm sure, I can't see the people outside, but there's a bunch of people outside there as well. And really pleasingly, that growth has come, in our in a number of different generations, in particular our younger generation. So we've had 40% growth in 1830, about the same in our high school ministry, Fungus, which is, so it's a really great story. Recently, at our anniversary, we asked people to register with us, and 750 people registered their details with us. Now, we did give away free umbrellas, but it's great to know that many people feel connected to this household. Yeah, and so even if they're not here today, we really hope to see them at some time, sometime in the future. And part of the building is just the logistics of getting us set up and all that. And I know a number of you over the years have sort of experienced this. We think in the last year we've saved about 1,000 man hours in setting up, every week. And that means our worship ministry, our kids ministry, and a whole bunch of others have been able to redirect that effort into doing ministry and preparing for ministry, rather than moving boxes, plugging in cables, setting up tables and chairs. So the building is helping us sort of magnify our impact. Externally, we've been able to have a whole range of conferences, events, etc., to help grow the kingdom outside of our Sunday services. Here's a selection of them, right? Like conferences, weddings, different interest groups, etc. There's been a whole range of things. We've had hundreds of young people come through because we've held a number of rallies here, with different organizations. And so, another way to bless. Internally, we've had a bunch of family nights, which I know a lot of you have come to, and we've had an average attendance of about 120 there. So, I think they've been like a huge revelation in how we can use this building to bring us closer together as a church. And I think this number hasn't been updated, but actually it's meant to be we're pretty sure there's been over 2,000 people that have come through this facility. So once again, helping us magnify the kingdom of God. Now, this particular stat you'll all love. and you may not realize, we've served over 15,000 meals in this church over the last year, right? And I remember, like, if we go back sort of 18, 24 months, we asked a whole bunch of people, hey, start to reflect on what you want the church to be and do, and like, what do you envision we would use this building for? And we had a whole range of responses, right? But I don't think we ever got the response that we will be serving durian in our car park, right? And so I think it's just a testament for, what next, right? What is going to inspire us to touch the community and to touch this house in new and different ways as we look to, how we use this space better. Which leads me to, where do we want to take this project? So that was phase 2. Phase 2.1, as we call it, this took a long time to name. It's Phase 2.1 is about 2 things. As with any house, you move in, stuff needs to be done. You don't get everything done when you move in. We were trying to move in as quickly as possible. So we've got a bunch of things that we need to fix and do in order to maintain the trajectory of this church. But at the same time, we also really need to be good stewards of the project that we've undertaken, right? And so if we just talk about those for a second, this is just a selection. There's actually a very, very long list of things that we need to do. But there's a whole bunch of maintenance. There's around classrooms, car parks. As we're growing, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but our Chinese congregation is kind of like just not even doing this. It's like kind of just doing that. And so, as God continues to work, we need to continue to innovate in the space, that we have. And so there's just a whole range of things that we need to do, which all cost money. But at the same time, we spent just under $4 million to do this building. We currently have about $2.3 million owing on our loan through various facilities, and we're paying about 4.5% interest. Although we are currently in a renegotiation process as that cash rate continues to drop in Australia. So we're being good stewards, but this is the aspect of this house. We need to do both, right? We need to continue to support growth, and we also need to be good stewards with the project that we've undertaken. And so, as Chris said, over the next 3 weeks, we want you guys to really consider what the ask is for this next phase, of the project. And our target for this year is about $400K, and that is going to be split up between those various activities, supporting growth, and also paying down our loan, right? Because as the more principal we pay down, the quicker we own this building, and we can do a whole bunch of other things, and we don't need to pay interest for interest's sake. So $400K, that's about a coffee a day, right? For all of us is how it sort of equates to. And so, over the next 3 weeks, we'd like to invite each of you and your families to really, think about what's happened over the last year. Think about, the things that we've talked about, how we need to continue to support growth here, to pray as a family. And then on the 20th of October, just before we start the fasting, we're going to invite everyone to act on sort of what God's speaking to you and your family about, and how much you'd like to contribute to this ongoing building of God's house. And so, think about it, pray about it, and then come on the 20th, ready to sort of make a commitment based on your discussion and prayer. There are different ways that we can give. So obviously outright donations or regular donations. A bunch of people give regular donations. A number of individuals have given us some very large interest-free loans, which have really helped with the overall project, and we really appreciate those. And so they're sort of the two sort of major categories. And the third is, if you're not exactly sure, you can't commit like sort of right now, a pledge, to fulfill a donation, etc., in the coming months can also be sort of your act of response and obedience. So we want to just encourage you guys, this is an exciting time. I mean, I think everywhere we turn, we see God moving. And I think, over the next 3 weeks, the 20th, if you guys could consider this and pray about it, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks.